Tyrants are gonna tyrant. Hello, my friends. Thomas with Alpha Koncepts here, and today we're going to talk about a Wisconsin man who was arrested for following the law. That's right. The Cook County Sheriff's Police arrested a Wisconsin man who was following the law. We're going to take a deep dive into why he was falsely arrested. But first, before we do, I'd like you guys, if you are an Illinois resident, I'd like you to sign up for one of our concealed carry renewal classes, help support the channel, or just buy a shirt or something like that. So let's get into this specific case. And this is not the first case similar to this. I'm going to talk about some other cases as well. Very recently, the Cook County Sheriff's Police posted on their website, or I'm sorry, on their Facebook page and on their X profile about an arrest. And it's comical that the first line says, "Know the law." So let's take a look at that. Cook County Sheriff's Office official, know the law. Firearms and out-of-state licensing. Recently, Sheriff's Police Community Safety Team conducted a routine traffic stop after a vehicle with Illinois plates returned no valid registration. After the initial stop, the driver provided a Wisconsin driver's license and Wisconsin title to the vehicle that was purchased in January. Officers learned that the driver had a valid Wisconsin driver's license but suspended Illinois driver's license and was subsequently asked to exit the vehicle. The driver voluntarily related he was a registered Wisconsin concealed carry holder and was in possession of a firearm not on his person. Officers recovered a black Sig Sauer loaded with 10 rounds plus one chambered from the vehicle. The individual was taken into custody without incident and felony gun charges were approved. Reminder, gun ownership and concealed carry laws vary widely from state to state. Failure to follow Illinois laws that govern how a firearm can be legally transported in the vehicle or carried on your person can lead to serious legal consequences. Always know the rules before crossing the state lines. Please visit Illinois State Police website, ispfsb.com, to learn more. Stay responsible, stay safe, Cook County Sheriffs, blah, blah, blah. Know the law. So, the Illinois Concealed Carry Licensing Act was written in 2013, and the Illinois Concealed Carry Licensing Act specifically says that if a non-resident is licensed in their state of residency, the non-resident can carry a concealed firearm in their vehicle. I'm paraphrasing, so let's look specifically at what that says. When we look at 430 ILCS 66-40 paragraph E, paragraph E says, nothing in this act shall prohibit a non-resident from transporting a concealed firearm within his or her vehicle in Illinois if the concealed firearm remains within his or her vehicle and the non-resident, number one, is not prohibited from owning or possessing a firearm under federal law, and number two, is eligible to carry a firearm in public under the laws of his or her state or territory or residence, as evidenced by the possession of a concealed carry license or permit issued by his or her state or residence if applicable, and number three, is not in possession of a license under this act. If the non-resident leaves his or her vehicle unattended, he or she shall store the firearm within a locked vehicle or locked container within the vehicle in accordance with subsection, etc. And then we have to look at what the definition is of a concealed firearm. Since the law specifically says that he can carry a concealed firearm, let's see what that is. Looking again at 430 ILCS 66/5, concealed firearm means a loaded or unloaded handgun carried on or about a person, completely or mostly concealed from view of the public, or on or about a person within a vehicle. So clearly, when we look at the Concealed Carry Licensing Act and we look at the statute that says that non-residents can carry in their vehicle, as long as it's a concealed firearm, which is a loaded or unloaded handgun carried on or about his person, and he is licensed in his state, which he is. So when we look at this and we have to question, how was this person arrested? Why was this person arrested? But the reality is that this is not a single case. I mean, obviously this is one single case, but there have been many cases like this. Going back to this, I have to question, you know, these other cases were from years ago, and it was excusable that, okay, the cops hadn't received training yet because the law had just passed, etc., whatever. The Cook County Sheriff's Police who made the arrest didn't understand the law. the supervisors or whoever else was involved in the arrest didn't understand the law. The prosecutor or whomever the person was that approved felony charges clearly does not understand the law. This is a clear violation of the person's rights. It's an unlawful arrest of this person. He did not break the law. Specifically, what he did, the law says he can do. But as I said before, this is not an unusual thing. And a lot of people are using this as an excuse of why we need concealed carry reciprocity across state lines. And indeed, that would be a good thing. That would alleviate a lot of confusion. There are definitely some flaws in the current version that is being kicked around. It doesn't seem like it has the support to pass. Again, there are definitely some issues in the current version that is being kicked around. We're not going to go into that. Let's talk about some of the other cases very similar to this case, and there are numerous. We're just going to talk about a few. Off the top of my head, I remember going back to about 2014-ish, there was an Indiana gentleman who was arrested in Harvey, Illinois for not having a FOID card. Not having a FOID card. But the thing is, non-residents do not need FOID cards. As a matter of fact, the Illinois State Police will only issue non-resident FOID cards for employment purposes only, which requires a special form. The Illinois Supreme Court has ruled on, if I remember correctly, 2 occasions that non-residents do not need a FOID card. So we have a situation there where the person was arrested for not having a FOID card, but clearly does not need a FOID card and can't even get a FOID card if he wanted to. And then we have the arrest of the gentleman, when we go back in time, who was arrested. He came to Chicago. He was an Iowa gentleman, came to Chicago, and the news said that the maid stopped a mass shooting. He had an assault rifle in a hotel room overlooking Lakeshore Drive. But the reality of the situation was it wasn't even a rifle. It was an AR-15 pistol. He was charged with not having a FOID card. He was charged with violating Chicago. At the time, Illinois didn't have an assault weapon ban. At the time, he was charged with violating the Chicago assault weapon ban. But Illinois law preempts handgun laws. So the ordinance that banned that handgun, that AR-15 pistol, is by law defined as a handgun. And the ordinance, the Chicago assault weapon ordinance that banned that handgun, Illinois law preempts. Illinois law supersedes. And at the time, as I said, Illinois didn't have an assault weapon ban. So here we have another case of a non-resident who was arrested and didn't even break the law. He did nothing wrong. You know, leaving a firearm exposed in your hotel room, probably not the wisest thing to do, but not illegal. Okay? There have been arrests by the Illinois State Police of Missouri residents who are driving and get pulled over and they get arrested. Now, Missouri being a permitless carry state, they don't need a concealed carry license. Subsequently, these people are arrested for not having an Illinois concealed carry license, and they're carrying a firearm. There have been a few of these that I recall. In addition, in 2021, there was a Missouri man who was arrested in St. Charles. Now, again, what he did wasn't necessarily the wisest thing to do, but it wasn't illegal. He decided that he was going to take a nap in a school parking lot. The cops came, they found him. They found him to be in possession of a handgun. He was subsequently charged with not having a concealed carry license. Again, he falls under that exemption, being a non-resident. He was within his vehicle. He was also charged with violating the gun-free zones. And we did a whole other video about the gun-free zones and the vehicle parking lot exemption to the gun-free zones. He had the firearm on his person within his vehicle. He was not in violation of the gun-free zone. Yes, taking a nap in a school parking lot, probably not the wisest thing to do. Yes, you're absolutely going to draw the attention of the police, but what he did was not against the law. People ask all the time, why do I say that you're guilty until proven innocent? Well, these cases are just a handful of cases where these people are arrested, charged with, in some cases, felonies. They have to spend thousands of dollars. And in the court of public opinion, you are guilty until you prove your innocence. And the reality is, okay, they have not been found guilty yet, but they have been inconvenienced to a level of guilt. And they have to spend thousands of dollars proving their innocence, proving that what they did was not against the law. Here I am, some idiot on the internet, and immediately like that, I read these articles and I can cite the law. Why can't the prosecutors do that? Why can't the law enforcement do that? Why are these people arrested and they did not break the law? That's why I started the video saying tyrants are going to tyrant. This is absolute absolute violation of all of these people's rights. The right to self-defense has been violated. And it is clear that we do need to make these laws easier to understand. I've said numerous times that we need to abolish these laws on the books. And I know that's a pipe dream, but we have to make these laws clearer to understand. Law enforcement officers are tasked with enforcing thousands of pages of law. They can't know the law. It's almost excusable. But when we talk about the prosecutor, this person, you'd think that if someone has your freedom in their hand, that they should be able to understand the law. And when we talk specifically about this Wisconsin person, these charges never should have been approved. So I tell all of my students, if you are going to go armed, you need to go armed with knowledge. Okay? And I'm telling anyone who is out of state who wants to come into Illinois with a firearm, if you are going to go armed, you need to go armed with knowledge. So in the description, I'm going to leave links to the Illinois Concealed Carry Licensing Act. Again, go directly to that paragraph that I referenced earlier in this video. I want you to print up that page. I want you to highlight that page, that paragraph that says that what you're doing is not against the law, and I want you to bring that with you. Back in the day before concealed carry passed, I kept a printout of the transportation laws in my gun case because cops don't know the law. Okay, and sometimes you need to educate an officer, and these situations were definitely those situations where possibly presenting one page, one document to the cop could have saved these people a lot of heartache and pain. You shouldn't have to do it, but welcome to Illinois. That's just the way it is. I don't like it, you don't like it, that's just the way it is. So, if you found any value in this video, please give it a like, share it. Definitely look in the description for additional links. If you need to renew your concealed carry license, we have classes on the weekends and evenings and mornings. So I want to see you guys in a concealed carry renewal class. I want to see you in one of our advanced firearm training classes. Also, don't forget, we have merch available. You can buy a shirt, help support the channel, help us keep bringing you this free content. As always, everybody, be armed, be trained, and be alpha. And I'll see you in the next video. Oh, before I go, I want to hear your opinion. Are they tyrants? Are they inept? Were they doing this on purpose? I want to hear your opinion in the comments. Let me know. What do you think? How did this breakdown occur? All right, see you in the next video.